Monk Dog. A story that will lead you to your true self. Chapter 1. Departure. Listen to the voice of your soul. Episode 3. The Journey to Adventure. Several weeks had passed since that day. My life was still the same as before, hunting every day with my master. But ever since I met Darsha that day, I couldn't get into hunting anymore. Above all, I could no longer find joy in seeing my master's smile, or in consuming the reward jerky. My performance at work got worse day by day, and my master was worried that I might have been injured. I had to admit to myself that I didn't enjoy hunting as much as I used to. I had changed that day. Every time I saw Darsha's stuffed face, visible through the window of the master's mansion's grand hall. Whenever I looked into his eyes, now replaced with blue glass balls, something hot rose up from the depths of my heart, and I felt an indescribable sadness and anxiety. When I delivered the final blow to my prey, I heard Darsha's warm voice echoing from somewhere.
Do you have any grudge against them?
When I received a reward from my master, I heard Darsha's voice again.
Are you just a tiny little creature?
Oh, what should I do? One day, Harry came to talk to me with concern. Harry is very thoughtful and knows a lot of things. He is my best friend and the sub-leader that I can rely on.
What's the matter, John? You've been acting strange recently. Since the day with the wolf, something's been off. Did something happen to you?
Being perceptive, Harry seemed to have a hunch about what was going on. It's nothing. Don't worry about that. I'll get over it soon. I tried to act tough, but that didn't make me feel any better. One night, when I couldn't sleep and the sky was turning red at dawn, I finally decided to confide in Harry. Harry, I actually have something I want to talk to you about. I spoke to Harry, who was curled up and sleeping next to me. Harry opened his eyes slightly and smiled.
Sure. Tell me.
I told him all at once about what had happened with Darsha, and the voice of Darsha that had been whispering in my head recently. He listened quietly without saying anything, and when I finished, he was silent for a while, then he said softly and slowly.
Don't do that.
What?
I said don't do that.
Harry stared at me with a stern look.
John, you're thinking of getting out of here, aren't you?
Yeah, I might, eventually, if things continue like this.
Do you think we can survive out there? We live on the food that our master gives us every day. How are you going to survive outside? It's impossible, absolutely impossible.
Well, is that so? There are plenty of prey in the forest.
Sure, there are preys, and we are hunting dogs. But what if we can't catch anything? There's no guarantee that there will always be prey. And we are hunting dogs that hunt in a team. We can't do anything alone. Do you understand that?
But
what? We are owned by humans, after all. Every day, at a fixed time and place, we can get delicious meals. What is there to complain about? As long as we do our job properly, we can get our meals without any difficulties. Every single day, the ones outside are always hungry. They live in constant fear of being attacked by something, or not finding food. The outside is a harsh world of survival, where the law of the jungle and hunger prevail. It's different here. You can't live such a good life if you go outside. If you leave here even once, you can never come back. Why do you need to give up this easy and comfortable life?
But there's no real freedom here.
Freedom? What is freedom? Don't we have the freedom to do what we like in between our assigned roles? That's the kind of freedom we, the hunting dogs, have. We are protected within a big fence of our master's care. In the end, we are just dogs in a fence. There's freedom inside the fence, isn't there? That's what freedom is, after all. What's there to be dissatisfied about? Why don't you just be content with what you have?
Harry, that just doesn't feel like real freedom.
It's wrong to seek real freedom. It's a childish and naive fantasy to reject what protects you, for the sake of a so-called real freedom. Can't you even understand that? The real freedom you seek is the freedom to go outside and die.
Then Harry, do you feel like you're truly yourself right now? Do you feel alive and live as your true self, full of energy and vitality?
Ha! What's that, true self? So, you're saying I'm a fake version of myself right now. There's no such thing as true or fake. I am who I am. I am Harry, the hunting dog, that's all. You're the same. You're John, the hunting dog, our leader. That's all. That's it. Listen, John, don't think too much. If we just do our jobs without thinking too much, we can live happily and comfortably, and enjoy a reasonable amount of freedom without any hassle.
I can't help but think.
Don't be silly. You've heard the saying, ignorance is bliss. Haven't you? That's what our previous leader always said. He also said sleep is bliss, remember?
Oh yeah, I kind of remember that, but I've never really thought about what that means.
Well, here's the thing. The more extra knowledge you have, the unhappier you will be. You end up suffering from it. The less you know, the happier you are. The less you think, the happier you become. It's better to be happy in sleep than to overthink. Because we've been happy so far, haven't we? We're not supposed to think. I'd rather be happy sleeping in ignorance than knowing something and being unhappy. You're the same, for your own good. Don't overthink, John.
Ignorance is bliss, that's true. That's who I used to be. But I've come to know, deep within my previous ignorant self, there was my true self. And it was screaming, no, I'm not my true self now. I've realized that I can't stay asleep like this anymore. I understand, Harry. I'll take some time to think about that.
Yeah, just make sure not to rush into things. You're the leader here. We all need you. All of us would be in trouble if you were gone.
Understood. I turn my back to Harry and close my eyes. Oh yes, Darsha told me to ask my soul, because my soul knows everything. My soul, where are you? With my eyes closed, I asked within my body. After a while, I started feeling a warmth in the area around my chest. So, you're here? I asked my warmed-up chest. What do you want? What do you want to do? Let me hear your story. What do you want to say? Then, the center of my warm chest started to beat strongly. Is this the voice of my soul? I spoke to my soul. I have a feeling that I'm not really free now. Right, I'm not my true self now. I want to be free. I want to be my true self. Then, the center of my chest became extremely hot and began to beat intensely. This is the voice of my soul. This is the answer from my soul. Certainly what Harry says is common sense. If I think calmly, it's a logical and reasonable decision. But even once you've heard the voice of your soul, there's no room for choice anymore. It might not be common sense, it might make me seem crazy, or maybe I've really gone mad. But there's no other way now. So, this is not a decision made by the mind. This is a decision made by the soul. The pounding, rising from deep within my chest, was ringing out strongly and intensely, as if it's driving me forward. I've realized that from the bottom of my gut. Yes, it was an understanding close to conviction that transcends reason. I have to go. As the sun rose, my master took us out hunting just like always. My fellow dogs began to run after our master, barking loudly and excitedly. I looked into Darsha's blue eyes visible from the window of the grand hall and whispered in my heart, "Thank you, Darsha. I'm leaving now. I'm going to find real freedom, to become my true self. Watch over me from the other side." With my master at the front, everyone had gone quite far ahead. I started running, occasionally looking back at the mansion and my hut getting smaller, and I shifted into top gear. Now, it's time to say goodbye to this place. My legs were in perfect condition today too. My speed increased rapidly, and I started running like the wind. In no time, I caught up with my master and the others, and then swiftly overtook them. I knew where I was headed. North. I was sprinting at full speed towards the north. From behind, I heard my master's voice shouting,
John, where are you going? John?
I even heard the panicked barks of my fellows and Harry's voice saying,
John, stop this nonsense. Come back.
I left those voices behind and ran away like the wind towards the north.